Aurora was on fire last month, and although we've seen some changes in the market, by no means would I say it's really a sluggish market in Aurora. And I'm going to connect with you on the stats here. September 22 is the most current month of data we have. We'll compare that with what happened in September 17. Now, why 5 years ago? If you don't always watch my videos, that's the last time that the market actually made some significant corrections. And so I'm going to compare that data because there is so much comparison and doom and gloom in the media about what was going on in September 17 versus now. I wanted to do a comparison of that. So we'll start with the numbers. So new listings that came to market in September 17 was 236, and that's across all home types. 45 sales through the month and 310 active listings, which didn't sell. Those are what didn't sell and carried over into October 17. August 22, we had 106 new listings come to market, 81 sales through the month, and 125 active listings, which carried into September. And in September, 124 new listings came to market, 68 sales. So we got more listings, slightly less sales, sorry. And we have more active inventory, which we started off October with. Looking at the money, 1,100,000 was the average sale price across all home types in Aurora, and that was in September 17. 1,191 back in August 22, and in September 22, we got 1,230,000. So this is interesting because you see that the general stats from the Toronto Real Estate Board, and it's typically indicating that year over year home prices are down. And yes, while that would be true, what we're looking at here is micro markets, right? So when the Toronto Real Estate Board talks, they're literally talking everything from Toronto, Milton, Durham region up to Innisfil. So when I'm comparing town specific market updates, we're looking at those micro markets and we're actually seeing some real strength in those. And of course, the general migration for the last number of years has been out of Toronto pushing further north. So of course, it makes sense that north, east, west, even it does make sense. It computes that obviously our market is still gaining some strength. The SNLR stands for sales to new listings ratio. It is also known as the absorption rate. Now, it tells us out of the homes coming on the market each month, what's the percentage that are actually selling. So 19.1% of the homes that came on the market in September 17 sold. So that means 80% of the homes that came on the market that sold or that month didn't sell. And again, we're seeing this through the numbers. We have a really big chunky active listing inventory, right? In August 22, we had 76.4% of the homes that came on the market in Aurora sold. And this number is how we determine whether it is a buyer's market or whether it's a seller's market. So when you're between 50% and 60%, it's considered a balanced market where there's enough supply to meet demand. When you're under 50%, considered a buyer's market. And when you're over 60%, it's considered a seller's market. So certainly at 76.4 in August, Aurora was in a seller's market, currently trending at 54.8. So again, this is between 50 and 60% is a balanced market. This is the ideal market. We've just gotten so used to homes selling in 2 days or 3 days or 7 days that all of a sudden when you got a home, it's taken 3 weeks to sell. You're like, oh my gosh, something's wrong. When in actual fact, there's not. This is actually more of a natural market than the crazy frenzy that we went through for 2 years. Another awesome stat for determining where the market's at is the months of inventory, the MOI. So now what it tells us, if no other homes came on the market after today at the current rate of buying or current rate of consumption, how long would it take to deplete the inventory? So 6.9 months of inventory back in September 17, 1.5 in August 22. So super lean. Now, how we're calculating this is we're dividing the number of sales into the active listings. So you can see here where this is a big chunky market. There was lots of inventory hanging around. Currently trending at 2 months, 2 months of inventory. If you want to go back to the busiest times in January, February, early March, we were looking at maybe a week to 10 days of inventory, 2 months. I understand it's 4 times what we had then, but certainly not even comparable to what we had in inventory 5 years ago. Very, very different. Sale price to list price ratio, homes selling 96.1% of ask in September 17, 97.1 in August 22, and currently trending at 98.6. And then to get a home sold, you're 28 days 5 years ago, 24 days in August, currently trending at 20. So we're seeing this shrink up a bit. Now, bear in mind that this number is only representative of the current listing that house is on. And I say this in other videos. If you see a house on your street and it's had a for sale sign on the lawn since April or May, when the market made its switch, then certainly this is not reflective of that. What it did under that current listing, how many days to sell. If you have any questions about how this information would compare to your home, please feel free to connect with me.